Jay?
I'll let you know.
All right.
I have a major announcement I need to do at the end of the show. So.
Uh-oh. Major?
Major.
How major is it?
Pretty major.
Huh?
I mean, is it the thing you already know?
Yeah, so don't say anything.
Man, don't nobody care about that shit.
I care.
Oh, Jason already let me know it's minor then. Jason has spoiled it. It's minor.
It's major.
I'm going to turn my camera on when you start talking. Hey, Mr. Butler.
I mean, I'm going to do the same thing when y'all start talking about the halftime and all that. So I'm going to go get me some popcorn.
Oh, Mr. Butler said he cares, Travis.
I see. See?
He don't really care.
Yeah, everybody in the Butler family should care.
Yeah, he's obligated.
Yeah. They got to sign off on the dotted line, you know.
Yeah, he's even co-signing that shit is major.
Oh.
Stop hating.
Thank you, Ms. Ham, for coming back. We appreciate it. Thank you for coming back, Mr. Butler. We appreciate it. All right, let's go ahead and run it, Coach. We'll go ahead and run
Travis
it.
has a big announcement for us tonight, everybody. Well, it's been a minute, folks. We figured we'd play that because it's been a while since we played it. But welcome to Straight from the Hip. I'm your host, Coach Gerald Boo Mitchell, coming to you live from the Palace in Black Mania. Look at that beautiful portrait back there. That's wonderful. Look at Travis. Travis, man. Travis, you would never be able to come to Black Mania, Travis. Just let you know that right now up front.
Why not?
Up front. What you say?
Why not?
Oh, I didn't know what you said. When you said why, I thought you said white. I thought you said you were in White Mania.
No.
Hey, Miss Peavy. Good to see you, Miss Peavy. Anyway, Jay, with me, as always, Mr. Jason Allen up top, right by my side, on this side over here, wherever he is. Travis over here somewhere. Travis over there somewhere. Anyway, Mr. Travis Butler. Jay, what we got? Come on with it.
I mean, you know what we got. I mean, we're going to start with the thing that everybody wants to start with, which is it was a big game Sunday. A lot went on there. So we're going to start off with the Super Bowl, guys. And I guess first things first, congratulations to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Tom Brady and the crew. Went on and beat up on the Kansas City Chiefs. So I think it was a 31-9.
31-9.
All right. So like always, you know, we never want to disrespect the team we are rooted for, but we're going to go and start with the Buccaneers. And I guess, Coach, start from you. I mean, what is your analysis of the game? What did you see? What did you think?
Well, first of all, I mean, I was shocked. Obviously, I picked Kansas City to win. And, you know, it wasn't even the fact that they didn't win. It was how bad of a game. Like Miss Peavy just said, what game? Was there a game? I agree, Miss Peavy. I mean, who? I don't think there's anybody who could have possibly seen that game playing out the way that it did, but it did. And I mean, you know, sentimentally, you got to feel good for the old timers because all of them contributed. Obviously, Brady was the MVP. Antonio Brown had a touchdown catch. Gronk had 2 touchdown catches. So, I mean, you look at it in that sense, it's kind of like, hey, I mean, it was nice to see these old timers do it one more time. I mean, who knows if any of them are going to come back again, or Brady's already said he's coming back. But like I said, so from that perspective, it was kind of nostalgic and all to see that happen. But I was so caught up on the dismantling of the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, I just couldn't believe how poorly they played. And I told you I felt like it was that time for a beatdown in the Super Bowl, because we hadn't seen that over the last couple of years. But this was definitely a beatdown. And I just didn't think it was going to go the way they did, though.
All right. Travis, what are your notes or thoughts on the Buccaneers' performance on Sunday?
Yeah, like Coach said, I was shocked at how the game turned out. I did pick Kansas City. I know I wasn't on last week, but I did pick Kansas City. But Tampa Bay showed up, looked really, really good. Their defensive line clearly just dismantled the offensive line for the Chiefs. I know they had some injuries on the O-line, but Mahomes had no time to throw. Their secondary played very, very well. So I was very impressed with the Buccaneers, especially their defense, their offense. Was consistent. They weren't great every single time, right? But
I guess we lost Travis on that one. Yeah, well, going on to that. Coach, can you still hear me?
I'm here, yeah.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure I got it.
I thought you did that on purpose.
I did not do that on purpose, for the record. But some people ain't coming for my neck. I guess he's trying to get back in now.
Come on in, Travis.
I didn't do anything. My computer's having problems today.
Yeah, okay. We know.
I didn't do anything. I didn't hit a button. Anyway, but yeah, I was just really impressed with Tampa Bay, both offense and defensively.
Okay. I think I'm gonna go in a little bit more in depth. I feel like we're playing around the surface stuff, and let's just kind of get really, really right into it. Hat needs to go off to Todd Bowles, defensive coordinator for the Bucs.
No doubt.
His scheme was, I mean, you gotta realize they got gouged the first time they played each other. This time it seems like he wasn't playing any games with them, and he was in straight and utter attack mode the whole game. I feel like his methodology was basically like, Mahomes is great, this team is great. If we sit, I mean, we gonna play this way, and if they beat us, they beat us. If they don't, they don't. And so I feel like he gambled. It worked out fine for him. I mean, I don't know what he saw on tape from the first meeting, but he made sure that he got it right this time. The other part of the Buccaneers I want to talk about is just that offense, man. I mean, I know all year Coach had been talking about running the ball, being effective with that, being able to give yourselves opportunities to play better. The Bucs ran the ball. I mean, even Ronald Jones was out there looking like he could play, and Leonard Fournette did his thing as well. And I guess I was more surprised that I felt like the Buccaneers' strategy was something they didn't even have to adjust during the game. It just seemed like what they came to do in the first quarter is what they did all the way up until the whistle blew, which is odd for a team that is playing against a coach like Andy Reid. And so I guess, I mean, to go ahead and flip it onto the other side, to the Chiefs side, I don't know if the Chiefs have any coaches. I don't know if Andy Reid and them just was like, we're good enough to win. I think the first mistake they did is that they reshuffled their whole line the week of the Super Bowl because Eric Fisher was out. So now not only are you on the biggest game of the year, but now you have three players out of their position.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would have been better if you just replaced that tackle, and then gave him support. Then what they ended up really doing was shuffling the whole line around and then let's see if we can win this way. I just didn't understand the logic in that one. I didn't understand the logic in your line isn't playing well together, what we saw from the first two quarters at least. At halftime, why aren't you leaving running backs in there? Why don't you bring in a second tight end because you don't want Kelsey blocking and chip somebody? Like, I didn't see them change anything about the line scheme. I didn't see them do any adjustments to stop the problems they were having guarding them. I mean, hell, Tampa Bay was rushing 2 and 3 guys, and they couldn't stop them. I just didn't see any adjustments. And for a coach like Andy Reid that I put like in that top 5 category in the NFL, it seemed like he didn't know what the hell he was doing. It was almost like he was just like, oh, we just went on talent. Go, just do whatever. We'll figure it out. I just didn't understand the offensive scheme. Defensively, I think the Chiefs, we know they're built for playing ahead. And I think when that situation came that the offense wasn't scoring points, the defense started pressing to try to make a play, and it kind of exposed them even more. So at the end of the day, I mean, I lay this loss kind of squarely on Andy Reid's feet. I know the players got to play, but I don't think the scheme they had coming into that game, and nor were any adjustments at the halftime, worth a damn. And so I put this squarely on Andy Reid. I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, I think they waited too long, and I mean, they kept trying to get the deep ball, kept trying to throw the deep ball. If they had been paying attention when they started running the ball and giving it to Hilaire and letting him, he was getting very good yardage and whatnot.
Yep.
They were moving the ball, and at that time, that would have been the best thing for them to do anyway, to make Brady and them sit on the bench for a little while, maybe get cold over there, maybe get a little lethargic over there because they're, having to wait. But they didn't. They went right back to trying to throw deep and do this and do that. Not to mention, obviously, Kansas City had a ton of drops.
Ton of them.
And a lot of people reminded me about that. They're like, dude, I mean, I bet they had 10 drops today.
Yep.
It was bad. And not to mention, of course, they had a terrible amount of penalties. And I know people want to talk about that and say, listen, I didn't see anything really outrageous out there. I'll be honest with you. The one thing that I think I do question is why Brady didn't get a penalty when he and Matthews were going at each other and Brady's chasing him across the field.
Yep.
I think maybe both of them should have got penalties at least, for Matthew to get it and Brady not to get anything was a little, home cooking, if you will. So, but I mean, it's just that's too much. I mean, it's too much to overcome. Like Jason just talked about, you're already down. You're dropping passes that could be first downs to keep the chains moving, all that kind of stuff. I think a couple of them may have been touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, you got all these damn penalties that when you do get something going, it pushes you back. And it does this and it does that. And then when you get in a case where you've got to throw the ball now and you've got to do that, I mean, and you've got 2 backup tackles in the game, I mean, shit, hell, I could have damn come off the edge and got some sacks.
Yeah.
I mean, shit, you didn't need JPP out there. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, you're helpless back there. And I guess everybody saw already the stat they had going all day there on television. They said Mahomes ran a total of 500 yards during that game. Or with all that scrambling and stuff he does. 500 yards. You don't think he was tired and worn out on a beat-up ass turf toe that he's got, that he's having surgery on tomorrow? I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot of running. And, I mean, I'm not talking about running forward and making yards and feeling good about it. I'm talking about frustrated running, scrambling, wondering what the hell's going on type stuff. And there's no way you overcome all that.
Well, Travis, from the game you watched from Mahomes, were you more impressed in the loss, or do you think this takes a little bit of shine off of him to say, oh, well, if his line doesn't protect, he's not that great? Like, when you viewed that game of Mahomes' performance, what did you get from that?
I took that as Mahomes is still a top flight quarterback. He was making some unbelievable throws that only he could do. And how many of the throws was he able to do that? Coach, like you said, now I was going to bring it up too. How many drop passes did they have that just hit a guy in the hands?
Terrible.
Every other game of the season, they're coming down with, right?
Yep.
And 90% of them were first downs. So it would have kept the offense on the field, kept Brady off the field. They could have got more rhythm. Kansas City, Mahomes might have been able to have a little bit more time on certain plays if they have more time to do that. So it didn't take away Mahomes any type of how good he is for me. That loss was not on Mahomes. Loss was, like you said, on the coaches, the offensive line, and the amount of penalties that the defense gave up were just, and you weren't going to be able to come back from that. Mahomes was doing the best that he possibly could with what he had in an offensive line that was 2 starters down. So that they were giving him no time. No,
let me say hello to Tom, Joe, and Tyler. I see you guys have all come on. Tyler said that the streaker had more yards than Kansas City had.
I don't know.
Let me say this about the streaker, and this is no lie. This is no lie. When they said it was a streaker, TV has a policy now that they won't show the streaker because they don't want to encourage people to do that. In fact, they're going to get on TV. So the first thing I did was pick up my phone and call Jason and say, is Travis with you?
So I do have a funny story real quick about the streaker I did read. I don't know if anyone else saw this, but so the streaker ended up getting fined $1,000 for going on the field. Well, one of the side bets that you can do is, will there be a streaker on the field? And he bet, he took that bet and ended up making like $40,000, but only had to pay like a $1,000 fine. So ended up
my God, that's crazy.
On a streaker.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. I'm playing a video that one of my homeboys just sent me about Mahomes in the game yesterday.
Absolutely. That's exactly what it was.
So I thought that was cute. I'm with you. I think some of those throws, I mean, if you didn't understand the Mahomes arm talent, that that showed you in that game real quickly. Some of those throws he was throwing 40 yards down the field while falling, that's crazy. Miss Hood said she'd have done that for 40K. Oh, I think a lot of us on here would have done that for 40K.
I did that for 20K.
Well, let's move on along because I know we have some. Well, one, does anybody think the Bucs are going to repeat next year?
No.
What about you, Travis?
No, I don't. And they have a lot of guys coming up for contract this year that they're probably not going to be able to pay everyone. So, no, I do not think they will.
I don't think that'll be the problem, though, Travis. I think that those guys will come back for the sake of trying to make one more run. I mean, some of those guys like Gronkowski, when Brady quits, Gronk's going to quit. I mean, we know that.
Yeah.
And then, so I think that Gronk will come back. Antonio Brown, he doesn't have anything to lose. I mean, I don't know that anybody's going to try to really get him anyway. He'll stay down there. He likes Florida. They got the Mons Venus down there instead of Magic City, so he'll be taken care of in that aspect. So, I mean, like I said, at the end of the day, I mean, Chris Godwin might be the only one to try to leave and, try to find some greener pastures. But other than that, I think the defensively, though, I think White and number 58 are both up. Shaq whatever are both up for free agency, so that'll be the toughest two to keep.
Yep, Shaq Barrett's going to get paid. Yeah, I'll say this though: if the question was, are they going to make the playoffs next year? I'll say yeah, because I think they'll win the division. So they'll be.
Oh, well, what division is that?
But so with the Super Bowl, all you got to do is be in the playoffs, right? Like they weren't a top flight team to this year anyway, so. They got a good shot. I just don't think they'll do it next year, but they'll be in the playoffs next year for sure.
They'll definitely be in the playoffs because they got one of the worst divisions in football, so they'll be in the playoffs. I mean, he'll have to beat Breeze again, but has Breeze said whether he's coming back or not yet? Anybody know that?
He is.
Let's pray he don't.
Let's pray he does.
I hope he doesn't. It's said that he's supposed to make an announcement within the next 2 weeks.
Well, I hope the announcement he makes is that they're signing. What's his name? Deshaun Jackson. I hope they let Breeze make that announcement.
The receiver? Or you mean Deshaun Watson?
I'm sorry, Deshaun Watson.
Oh,
okay. Deshaun Jackson. Deshaun Watson, my bad. Deshaun Watson.
I'm like, do you want the walking pulled hamstring to be out there?
Yeah. That's the announcement I hope he makes.
Well, the Saints don't have enough capital or cap room. I doubt that.
I know.
I mean, you never know. You never know because I thought the same thing about the Rams in that golf contract. So you do never know. I
First of
will say
all,
this.
stop right there. Stop right there. I ain't gonna let you get away with it like that.
Okay.
That is the dumbest contract ever. That's the dumbest ass trade ever that they made in LA. Who gives up 2 first-round draft picks for a washed-up Matthew Stafford?
Thank you.
That is crazy.
Thank you. I agree.
I disagree, but we got other stuff to get to on that show, on the show before we even tackle that. We got a whole offseason to talk about that. One, I believe the Kansas City Chiefs are going to be really scary next year because I don't think they're going to take this. The Chiefs, I think they're going to be really scary next year.
No, I'm agreeing with you. That's going to be ugly.
Because they're not going to take this loss line down at all.
Yep. And they paid a bunch of their guys last year to keep them under contract for multiple years. So I don't think they have a lot of important guys that are up for contract that they could lose. 1 or 2, yes, but I don't think it's anyone like super important.
I feel very sorry for the AFC, except for the Cincinnati Bengals, because we all know it's going to be a Super Bowl year for them, like it always is. They're the right track.
Joe Burrow.
So going to it, I know Coach briefly hit on there about Brady and Tyrann Mathieu going back and forth. So a report came out that Tyrann Mathieu got a text from Brady apologizing. Brady was apologizing to him. Evidently, Tyrann Mathieu went on after the game and said that Brady said something to him that he would not repeat. Then again, later on, I think then he deleted that tweet. Then Brady evidently sent a text message, but from the rumors we're hearing from the talking heads that Tyrann Mathieu didn't put out the text message. Evidently, I guess the PR team for Brady put out that they sent him a text message and kind of read it or whatever the case may be. I guess I got 2 full questions. I'm going to go with you, one, Coach. We know Brady's mic'd up. Will we ever hear the audio to find out exactly what happened? Do you think that audio would ever break?
Only if they let Tom Brady do a last dance like they let Jordan do it, and he decided at that time he's going to let you listen to what he said. I think that, Miss Peavy put on here a few minutes ago that the Brady rules were in effect. I think the Brady rules were in effect as far as like this incident here, where they're not going to let you hear what he was really saying. I mean, ain't no telling what he said, but I think he's got the Joe Montana rules in effect when it comes to Tom Brady and his image. Because, for years, they wanted to keep Joe Montana being the Teflon Don of the NFL where nothing could stick to him. And I don't know if you guys ever heard the story about Joe Montana leaving his wife. Supposedly, he left a letter in the mailbox and just drove off and left. And then they did a story about it in Sports Illustrated.
Mm-hmm.
And the author of that got fired from Sports Illustrated because it made Joe Montana look bad. And they wanted him to be the golden boy, which Brady now holds that title. And so I think the same thing will go for Brady. If it was something derogatory or something that they feel like people will have a bad light with or look at Tom Brady in a different light, they're not going to release it. And Tyrann Mathieu can go on damn 60 Minutes here and have Barack Obama question him or whatever, and won't nobody believe him what he says. And when he says that, Tom Brady called him something other than a child of God. So that's my feeling about Jason. I don't know if we ever will hear it, but I think that if Brady, like I said, in his old age decides, hey, let me do one of them Michael Jackson things, or Michael Jordan things rather. Let me do one of those Michael Jordan things, and I'm gonna release those tapes and let y'all go ahead and let people hear what I had to say, and then go from there. That's the only way I think you'll hear.
Travis, what Tom doing, I guess, whatever the interaction came with that. I mean, we can even see on how it was recorded. Even the clip I had didn't even show Brady's run back to Tyrann after Tyrann kind of put the finger into him or whatever.
Right.
Is there anything that can be said on the field that's off limits? And then if so, like, what is the response there?
Yes, there is things that can be off limits. Using inappropriate language, right? And I think we know what, that language is. And then you don't need to be talking about people's kids that at least to me, that should be off limits. Don't be talking about people's kids. Don't be talking about people's parents, loved ones, significant others. Other than that, I don't think anything. I think pretty much everything else is fair game. But who knows what was said? I actually do think there could be a way that we hear what was said. I think what has to happen is that Tyrone Matthew kind of has to push the situation and go, you guys need to hear what happened. He called me, and probably come out and say he called me a this, that, and the other. And then that of course is going to get back to Brady, and it's going to say, no, I didn't. And they're going to go, well, it's Mike. Let's go ahead and check. I think there is a way for the video to surface, but I think it kind of has to be pushed for, to get a he said, she said type of argument going between the two for them to be like, okay, which one's right, which one's wrong. I think that's the only way you'd be able to get to hear the video.
Let me go ahead and tell you what's going to happen there, Travis. They're going to say, yeah, we had it mic'd up, but for some reason there was some kind of technical difficulty at that time, and it didn't capture that part of the conversation. Let me go ahead and just prep you for that, because that's what'll be coming if that were to happen.
I can already see it now. We videotape, we record all the players, but only while the play is going on, and once the play stops,
we got you. Coach, have you on your playing career, has anybody ever said something to you that you was about to put hands on them on the field?
I would never put my hands on anybody on the field just because I think that's disrespectful to the game. I think you're disrespecting the game when you do that. Like I tell people all the time, I'm like, dude, I came out here to play football. I didn't come out here to fight. If I was coming to fight, I'd have called Jason and some other guys, some big guys that I know to come with me. I wouldn't have brought y'all with me because y'all ain't fighting. Y'all football players. So, but yeah, there are some things that are off limits. Like Travis said, anything that has to do with family. I mean, at the end of the day, it's family. I know Jason says significant others, but if me and one of my opponents on the other team are dating the same stripper, I mean, he talk about it if he wants to.
If that's your definition of a significant other, then yes.
Yeah, I'm saying she ain't family, so you can all talk about her all you want. So.
Well, let's go ahead and fast forward and let Coach get this off his chest. The halftime show, the weekend. He was trying to serve it up for you, Coach. So let's go and let Coach have his moment, get all the thing off his chest. Go ahead, Coach.
Hold on,
Tell us how you really feel.
Let me talk to Carrie Lynn for a minute. Mm-hmm. Carrie Lynn, I've had a long day. And it's because I'm saying Jackson all the time. You got to give me a break, Carrie Lynn. Anyway,
hey, Coach, you know who Carrie is actually Keisha's older sister.
Okay. Well, nice to see you, Carrie. Keisha don't come on here anymore, but that's all right. Tell her I still love her anyway. No, Jay, my thing about the weekend, and Jason knows, I'm old school. I'm old school guy. I'm old school about my halftime shows too. And the weekend didn't do it for me. The weekend number one, I wish he'd been more like a weekday instead of being a weekend, because I felt like the performance was a little long. I'm not trying to see the same dude singing for 20 minutes. I mean, give me some variety. Switch over to another singer. Give me some pit bull in there. Give me something. Give me somebody, one cat doing the whole halftime show by himself. That just don't work for me. I mean, now I like some of his songs. I enjoyed some of the halftime. I enjoyed it somewhat, but for the most part, I give it a thumbs down for me. That's just me.
Carrie said that Honey Badger should have given Brady that Myles Garrett response with the helmet. I'm right there with you, Carrie. Yeah.
You know what? That probably was the city. I felt like the Honey Badger was part of the damn problem out there the other day, because he was all hyped up, and I don't know what that joker took before the game, but I mean, the Kansas City's youth hurt them, and it's always been an asset up until that game. And the other night, I felt like it was a detriment because they were just being real immature out there.
All right. Travis, your thoughts on the halftime show?
I liked it. I enjoyed it.
Of course you did.
I like it. I was enjoyed. I know most of the songs, so I was sitting there humming and singing along. So
Oh my
I
God.
was entertained. So,
Is your wife okay?
Oh, she loved it too, actually.
I mean, you said you were humming and singing the songs. I can only imagine what that was like.
Oh, she loves me singing. Come on. But yeah, I enjoyed it. To your point, Coach, could they have had one extra person and could have done some of a duet mash thing?
Oh, Travis is gone again.
With the year of COVID, I think that's probably what it was. They didn't want to have too many people out there, so I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good.
Miss Peavy said, "No way, Travis. It was horrible."
No, you're wrong. It was good. I know I'm in the majority. Most people that I saw liked it. So most people thought it was one of the better halftime performances.
Well, most people that you saw look like you. That's why that is. I mean, that's easy. I mean, how easy is that to figure out?
Don't worry. I took it down real quick for you, Miss Peavy, so you don't have to live through it twice. I mean, I didn't have any issues with it. I mean, I will be real with you. I'm jaded on halftime performances now. Unless it's something spectacular, I guess maybe I feel like because no one's going to agree. So at this point, I just enjoy it for what it is. If I know some of the songs, I may nod my head. If I don't, I'm going to go about my business. I mean, last year's with J-Lo and Shakira, I think they were last year. I thought it was dope. A lot of people hated on that and told us how terrible it was. And that remember, I think me and you, Coach, did a kickback where people were talking about how much clothes they didn't have on. And like everybody, like we said, opinions like assholes. Everybody got one. If you enjoyed it personally, you got the win. If you hated it, you got the L. At the end of the day, that's how I look at halftime performances. If you personally enjoyed it, then that was great for you. If you hated it, then I hate to say you had to suffer through it. You got the L. Like, it was winners and losers in a halftime performance.
Well, Jason, I'm just going to give you the Southern version of that old saying you said. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody got one. All of them stink. That's what they say.
Well, I didn't want to go there because I want everybody's opinion. But yes, that is the end of the saying. Miss Peavy said, at least last year, at least you thought you were at Magic City. All right, let's go to the other half of what everybody that watches the Super Bowl enjoys. Rico said that the Weeknd put $7 million of his own money into that. Now that's a goddamn shame.
I did read that.
He could have gave me that money, and I'd have gave him a way better performance than that.
Hold on, Jay. Why?
Right.
That's what I want to know. Why would he put $7 million of his own money into that? Why?
I guess he thinks he's going to recoup it. I think that's what he thinks.
God, that was awful.
Well, let's go to the other part that everybody watches. Everybody watches for the commercials. Any stand-up commercials for you guys that you guys can remember? Travis?
No, there wasn't any that I can flat out be like, oh, that was great. Nothing stood out to me. There was a few funny ones, but nothing that off the top of my head. Nope.
Coach?
No, the Matthew McConaughey thing where he was all flat. That was all right. And I like the special effects of that. But nothing really very memorable. Like, I mean, the all-time greatest Super Bowl commercial of all time was Shaquille O'Neal in the, don't fake the funk on a nasty dunk. I mean, that was my all-time favorite Super Bowl commercial. I mean, it's still good for me today when I can find it on YouTube or something like that, where, he was being pulled in by Bill Russell and all those guys, the greatest centers of all time, were kind of letting him into the club. I mean, I don't know. I just, and I watch, I really do. I mean, I make it a point to watch every commercial because I want to get in on the conversation. And I want to be able to say, hey, that one commercial by Volkswagen or that one commercial by M&M's was the by far the best commercial. I didn't see it. I can't say about any of these commercials, including this one here with Kenan Thompson. I mean, I can't say that any commercial I saw was just overwhelmingly good.
No, I mean, I did like the Drake and State Farm one, and I think the only reason I like the Drake and State Farm, I'm going to do a shameless plug here. because on my music podcast, the Gladiator podcast, check it out on Head Cannon Circus.
Yeah.
One of my homeboys freaking hates Drake. So literally when that commercial came on, Keisha texted me and said, I guess Nip, that's my homeboy's name, I guess Nip is going to change his insurance now because Drake is repping him. So for me, that made me chuckle, but it was nothing about the commercial. It was just that the insider level on it. But a lot of people are saying the game, I mean, Tyler Phillips said it best. Bad game, bad halftime show, and bad commercial. So,
well, Troy the Barber said they should do Cirque du Soleil. I don't know if he's talking about the halftime show. That'd be a good halftime show now. I can get into some Cirque du Soleil. And Carrie Lynn says the Alexa Michael B. Jordan commercial was funny.
Yeah, I heard that one a lot too. That my wife saw, and she's like, "Oh, did you see the Michael B. Jordan commercial?" And I'm like, "No." Then I ended up watching it, and yeah, it pretty much was, every woman's fantasy. And as Rico said, his wife loved the Michael B. Jordan Alexa commercial. So yes. So Tracy Morgan commercial, I mean, I think that was pretty good too. I mean, again, like I said, I don't watch much of the commercials. I'm gonna be real with you. That's more coaches field than me. I just I let the game just play out.
This is my thing about Tracy Morgan commercial. I can't listen to him.
Speaking of the devil, here it is now.
As soon as Tracy Morgan comes out, I start laughing. Just because he's just an idiot. Look at him. Yeah, he's an idiot. But yeah, Kevin, I'm agreeing with you. That was a pretty good one. I won't say it was the best, but it was better than most.
Absolutely. So yeah, I mean, anything else you got on the commercials there, Coach? Or you?
No, man. To me, like somebody said, it was a bad year, obviously for the game. And I'm gonna tell you this: start off strong when they had the national anthem and the God Bless America.
Yeah,
I'm like, all right, we rolling, baby. This about to be on. Then they had the flyover with the stealth bomber. Oh, dude, I was all geeked up. I was like, oh yeah, we getting ready. It's about to happen. And then it just went downhill from there.
Oh no, yeah, it was mad black girl magic going on at the beginning of the game. I mean, between her and then we got Jasmine Sullivan, and Coach called me on after the anthem, and I said, Coach,
yes, I did.
Did it feel like the anthem felt like they were like, hey, let's get a black person singing the national anthem and a white person and show the differences in how they sing the anthem? Because like Sullivan was going on all the runs up and down the scale, and Eric Church, whatever his name, he was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna sing this regular. He's like, I ain't gonna fuck with it. I'm gonna let her have this.
Not only that, your boy put some extra twang in his voice. He was twanging and everything. Go ahead, man, do your thing. But let me tell you this, and I've heard of Jasmine Sullivan before. I can't tell you one song that she sings, but my ass gonna find something. I tell you what, she ate that thing up, boy. I wish she would have done the anthem by herself. I would love to hear that. Because, I mean, that girl was on, but she was on point.
Well, she just dropped a new album, and again, we review it on the Gladiator podcast. But yeah, she dropped a new album. That new album is nice. It's about 30 minutes long. It's more of an EP, but it's really good. Like, if you enjoyed the performance, you'll enjoy her album. It's pretty good.
Okay, I got to get some of that.
Absolutely. All right. Well, now we just got everybody. We got the Hall of Fame class just been initiated in. I'm gonna start with Travis because we're gonna finish with Coach because Coach came out last week and said if you ain't been in for 10 years, he don't even want to talk about it if he was commissioner.
Right.
Yep.
So, Travis, what do you think about this year's Hall of Fame class?
I thought it was pretty good. I know the big question mark is, of course, Calvin. Should he be in the Hall of Fame? Yes. Should he be a first ballot Hall of Famer? No. That was one that I didn't think he should have been first ballot, especially with, I know you guys talked about with some of the other wide receivers like T.O. that had to wait a year or two. I think Calvin should have had to wait a year or two. I get it. Calvin is kind of the ultimate nice guy. Basically nobody's got anything wrong to say about him. Name of Megatron. He was really fantastic. But I thought he would have had to have wait one year before he was going to get in. Alan Faneca, I like that one. I've been in a year or so ago, so I think definitely time for him to get in. Wasn't shocked about Peyton Manning. Wasn't shocked about Charles Woodson getting in first time. Made sense. And then Drew Pearson got in as well, so that was good. I kind of thought that he made because he had a lot of support the last few years. So no, all in all, good class. No major issues with it. Like I said, should Calvin be first ballot? Probably not, but that you're splitting hairs because he is a Hall of Famer. So, but good class overall.
Coach, what do you think?
Well, they called me and asked me whether or not I'm gonna let these guys get in and whatnot. And so I told them about our discussion that I had with y'all about Calvin Johnson. Because I mean, here's my thing: if you're gonna get in before 10 years, you better be real special. I mean, you got to be like, Gale Sayers. I'm thinking, give me Gale Sayers if it's going to be somebody who's going to get in before 10 years. Give me somebody with some crazy Barry Sanders type, runs and that kind of thing. Somebody really, really special. I mean, for instance, Megatron. Now, with a name like Megatron, I mean, like I said, when you call Megatron, I mean, you probably should be in the Hall of Fame if somebody gonna call you Megatron. But I'm saying that when I didn't know that he had a complete body of work. I don't know that he necessarily has a body of work that is Hall of Fame-esque, especially, like Gale Sayers had a catastrophic injury. Megatron just walked away from the game. He's just like, I'm done. So just like you said, maybe he should have waited and could have waited since he just chose to walk away from the game.
Right.
I mean, it'd be like Patrick Mahomes if right now he just said, you know what, I'm done. I'm retiring. We're going to let him in the Hall of Fame just based on, well, he's the only person who was MVP and Super Bowl MVP. I mean, but he only played 3 years. I mean, if you're not going to go 10 years, then tell me what the cutoff should be. Tell me what the cutoff is then. Man, is somebody mad about us not mentioning John Lynch? Listen, yay for John Lynch.
Yeah.
He was a better damn player than he was a GM. I'm going to tell you that right now. Because he's thinking it up as a GM.
Stop it, Coach. Stop it.
Yeah, man. I had to say that because, I'm still mad about Gigolo Jimmy and the way he got my franchise right now.
Bro, they was in the Super Bowl last year. What are you talking about?
I know. But again, did we win?
Jesus
that's all
Christ.
That matters.
Jesus
That's
Christ.
all that matters. You think the Chiefs are happy right now? They ain't happy.
But ain't nobody gonna blame the GM. Ain't nobody gonna be like, oh, the GM did a terrible job. He put together a 2 Super Bowl appearing team. Jesus, like they just went last year. They had a bad injuries, COVID. Like, slow down. Slow down.
Man. Get Lynch out of there. Get somebody else in there. I need somebody else in there other than Lynch. But in any event, I don't know. I think it's a decent class. I'm glad, thank God, that Drew Pearson finally made it in there. Cause I didn't want to see him cry again. Dude, if you watch the last couple of years, watching him cry, he didn't make it. I mean, it was just ripping holes in my soul watching him. Cause again, I was a former Dallas Cowboys fan, grew up with Drew Pearson, Tony Hill, Marcus Dupree, all of those guys. So like I said, I was glad to see him get in anyway.
Well, Coach, you got a question? Where did you play at?
What's that now?
Tom asks, where did you play at?
Tom, I played college at Vanderbilt, and then I had the opportunity to go play with the Seattle Seahawks and tore up my shoulder and got raggedy in a hurry.
All right. OJ said, how could you go 10 years when the average time for a player to play is 3.5 years?
Because you ain't going to be in no damn Hall of Fame if you don't make it 10 years. Why in the hell would you be in the Hall of Fame if your ass ain't in the league but for 5 years? Damn, Tom Brady's ass been in there 17 years. He ought to get in the damn Hall of Fame just on GP.
Coach, let me ask you. So are you completely saying that Megatron shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame at all? Or that he shouldn't have been first ballot?
I'm saying he shouldn't have been first ballot, period. Now, I'm going to say that he was an exceptional player.
Right.
And so I can see where you say his talent is good enough to put him there. But I mean, to me, there needs to be some kind of penalty, if you will, for just walking away from the game. I mean, he just decided he's gonna walk away from the game. That's okay. Well, we're gonna let you in on about your third try for this Hall of Fame deal. I mean, that's my whole thing about it is because, like I said, I mean, y'all gonna let Mahomes in? I know Travis would. If Mahomes quit today, Travis' ass have been first ballot for the next. His ass will be in the Hall of Fame next year. You and Max Kellerman's ass will have him in there next year, Hall of Fame.
I wanted him in this year.
I know you did. That's my point. That's exactly my point. I mean, guys, the Hall of Fame is supposed to be for exceptional players. And I don't think you can prove yourself to be an exceptional player in 3 years. I mean, why would you let somebody in there after just 3 years? That's crazy.
All right. Well, that wraps up. Any snubs? Anybody think anybody got snubbed from the Hall of that they could think of right now? Travis, no.
I can't. I'd have to look at the list, but I can't think of anybody.
Coach, anybody you think should be in that you just ain't made it yet?
You know what? My thing is always, and this might surprise some people. I'm gonna say this, but when you've been around the game and you coach the game, I always feel like there are linemen out there who are being missed out. You know what I'm saying? Because back then they didn't keep lineman stats as far as like, you know, this guy kept this many sacks from being allowed or this or that or other. And nowadays, of course, they keep on how many times you get beat on the right side versus how many times you get beat on the left side versus how many times you get trucked. I mean, they keep up with every little stat. So it's easy to look at the lineman and say, hey, this lineman by far has the best stats of any other lineman. I'm talking about particularly offensive linemen. You know, it's easy to say, okay, this guy got that many sacks. This guy did this guy did that. But I think offensive linemen are the ones who kind of always get missed out upon when it comes to. I know that Will Wolford, I played with Will Wolford at Vanderbilt. He went on to play for the Buffalo Bills for many years and whatnot. Some guys like that, where you're like, you know, Will should be in there. Some of these guys should be in there. Wisniewski, I think his son or his grandson or somebody's playing now on a team. He and I played together in the Japan Bowl, and then he went on and played in the league for a while. He's another offensive lineman that I would be wondering, why isn't Wisniewski in there? Some of those guys, because they had great careers, but nothing that you could really highlight other than he did his damn job and he got paid to do his job. So, I mean, that's what people say, but I mean, I think there was some real good linemen.
Okay. OJ said, what if a QB wins the Super Bowl 3 years in a row? Should they be in? Let's say he has a 7-year career, does a triple, which has never been done in the NFL. Should that quarterback be in?
I wouldn't necessarily say so. And Jason and I had this discussion earlier because Jason says that, and he will contend that Tom Brady won 3 Super Bowls, but he wasn't the guy that won the Super Bowls. You know, he was a damn game manager and only had 150 yards passing. So just because somebody wins a Super Bowl, you're the quarterback. I mean, shit, look at Eli Manning. Eli Manning, one of the worst quarterbacks in NFL history, and now everybody lauds him and everything else because he threw a ball up for grabs, and David Tyree caught the ball and pinned it on his head, and Eli Manning gets the credit for that. Tell me why Eli Manning gets the credit for throwing up a damn Hail Mary, and a man caught the ball and stuck it on the side of his helmet and landed on the ground with it, stuck on the side of his helmet for a completion, and Eli Manning gets the damn Super Bowl credit for it. Don't give me that, Mr. Peavy. I mean, it's much more than just saying a Super Bowl. Come on now.
He threw the game-winning touchdown.
The only thing I would say about that is I think George Seifert, former 49ers and Carolina Panthers head coach, I think he gets snubbed every year. 2-time Super Bowl winning champion with 2 different teams and quarterbacks. I mean, they both for the Niners, but Steve Young and Joe Montana, I think he does get snubbed because of how great Bill Walsh was. So,
amen.
Going from that one. All right, I guess let's go into the real big debate here. I actually had a Tom Brady lover synced up, but evidently he thought we did the show at 8 a.m. and not 8 p.m., so he couldn't be on here. But the question now with Tom Brady winning his 7th ring, going to a new team, changing the culture, etc. Is Tom Brady the greatest team sport player of all time? That includes, football, basketball, again, any team sport. Is he the greatest of all time now at that level now? Let's start off with you, Travis, and we'll go to Coach, and we'll end it up from there.
I would probably go with no. I know. I'm sure one of you guys could help me on this. Isn't there not a former basketball Hall of Famer that has like 10 NBA championships?
9.
Who?
Yep.
Bill Russell.
Bill Russell. There you go. I'm not. Of course, you guys know I'm not a huge NBA fan. So yeah. So it's hard to say. How can you be better than someone that's won 10 titles, right? Is he the greatest in the NFL? Yeah, probably. But when you're comparing sport to sport, that's tough. Of course, MJ's up there. I know MJ won 6. Brady's got 7, but that's comparable. So he's in the discussion. Is he number 1? I do not think so.
Well, it kind of hurts to Travis because people consider Jordan the best player, and Jordan only has 6 to Russell's 9 or 10. So, okay, but all right, Coach.
I'm sorry. I'm an idiot,
first.
And I had a brain fart. Sorry.
Let me say this first. Carrie Lynn said if Eli's last name was Jenkins, he would have been a bust.
Well, that's just like somebody put out a report on Twitter and was like, if Matthew Stafford was black, he'd have been lost his job. So I meant to send it to Travis and be like, because Travis loves to hate on Matthew Stafford. But go ahead, Coach.
Listen, and Jay and I kind of been going back and forth with this today, and I told him let's save it for the show. I'm not trying to hear that about Tom Brady. Is he the GOAT? I said Tom Brady was the GOAT before he even played in the Super Bowl. Look, man, Tom Brady is the GOAT until give him a decade of being the GOAT before y'all try to give it to somebody else. I mean, y'all act like that GOAT thing just happens. Like, for instance, if Tom Brady plays in the Super Bowl next year against Patrick Mahomes, and this time Patrick Mahomes wins, y'all want to take the GOAT away from Brady, even though he's been now to 11 Super Bowls. I mean, goddamn, y'all let him hold on to the GOAT thing for a while. I said going into the game, whether he wins or doesn't win, he's still the GOAT. That's my opinion on that. Now, is he the GOAT of all sports? I just don't believe so. I think he's the GOAT of football. I think that football is the ultimate team sport, in my opinion. You got to have 11 men on the field doing their job, or nobody eats. Because Brady, as Mahomes showed you, can't do anything if your offensive line isn't blocking. So the bottom line is he needs 5, at least 5, maybe 6 with the tight end, maybe 7 with the back. All of them got to be doing their job. Then you got to have a wide receiver that can beat a guy who runs 4.2 out there on the field. Dude, it's too much to look at and say, now, take basketball on the other hand. 5 men on the floor. That's all you got. And when I see, I've been hearing stupid stuff. Questions like, is Tom Brady a better athlete than Michael Jordan or LeBron James?
Oh, God.
Michael Jordan or LeBron James will beat Tom Brady in football. They will beat. They are great athletes. Tom Brady, on the other hand, would not stand a chance against them in basketball. So there's no way he's a greater athlete at all. Now, like I said, is he the ultimate team player? All of those things, give him all that. I give him all that. I don't know about him being the GOAT of every sport. Much as I hate baseball, I would even say that a dominant pitcher in baseball has a chance of being more of a GOAT because of the fact that he can single-handedly go out there and throw a damn no-hitter. And, I mean, everybody else on the team can damn lay down on the ground. I mean, you can just be that damn dominant but as a quarterback, I'm not going for that. I'm not going for Brady being the GOAT of all sports.
I'm about to go. I'm gonna go. Yeah, man. I mean, let's go with your pitcher comparison. You're right. A pitcher can go out there and be Nolan Ryan and go it, but then he got to take 3 days off after he pitches that game. So they can lose every game between that. So that knocks him out of there. My wife put that Serena Williams. We said team sports, baby. So Serena, I know tennis is you have a partner sometimes, but
Doubles.
everything you're quoting for Serena is an individual sport. That's why I don't include Michael Phelps in this conversation because it's individuals. But going to the NBA comparison, y'all act like everybody that hasn't won a championship hasn't had players on their team that were good players. Like, you could be MJ in the first 8 years before you get. So I'm saying, all the team sports needs a team. Mm-hmm. The reason why I say Brady's the best out of all of it now, I feel like, is because one, you went to a franchise with a terrible culture. In his first year, turn them around into a champion. And not to mention that, if you watch the Buccaneers at the beginning of the year to what they were by the end of the year, you would say they were completely two different teams. And so I look at a situation where a guy could come in, change that system, change that culture, make them believe that they can win, then going up against this juggernaut called the Kansas City Chiefs that everybody's, saying it's going to be, this could be the next dynasty. They're submitting it, beat the brakes off of them. Like, nah, man, I'm sorry. Like, I got to give it up. I mean, even my man MJ, you love MJ like you love MJ, coach. MJ never went to another team and won a championship. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of these guys want Bill Russell. He never went to another team and won a championship.
That's true.
I mean, LeBron's the only one that's done it, but I know LeBron is at the GOAT of his league, so we can't put him in the same category. So I'm looking at even Joe Montana. Went to Kansas City, got to the AFC championship, didn't get to a Super Bowl, didn't win one. Like, so, I mean, for me, I think he's in a league of his own. He's in a class of his own just because of what he did this year. Something I think none of these greats that we want to talk about really did successfully and consistently, especially at the age that he's at. Like, this ain't he in his prime doing this. He's on the down slope. The bottom nine, the back nine. Like, he's on the back nine of his career, and he did this. So for me, I can't see another athlete in a team sport that can accolades and accomplishments and degree of difficulty match up to what Tom did. Hell, last year he took the Patriots to the playoffs, and we saw Cam Newton with that terrible ass Patriots team. They couldn't do shit this year.
Jay, I'm with you, Jay. I'm with you on the whole 1 year thing. I think that this was a phenomenal year for him to be able to do everything that you just said. Like I said, going to a terrible franchise, turning them around, all of that thing, hats off. I mean, I don't think that you'll ever be able to see that again. Matthew Stafford sure as hell ain't going to do it for the Rams. But the bottom line is that, and hats off to him for doing it. And like I said, I mean, deep down, I kind of like it because, and listen, everybody knows Miss Peavy is the biggest Brady hater I've ever seen in my life on this show. and I've always defended Brady and said he's the GOAT. And I still think he's the GOAT. I ain't trying to give him everything that y'all trying to give him. It's some people out there just talking some crazy stuff. Like, he might be able to beat up black man or something.
Oh, no, that's crazy talk. That's crazy talk.
I ain't trying to hear that.
Well, Mr. Hood says Tom Brady would not be successful without the players around him, period, end of story. Nobody in a team sport wouldn't be successful without the players around him. Imagine if Wayne Gretzky didn't have a good goalie. It doesn't – you in a team sport, you need the players around you. Yes, that's what we're saying. Go ahead, Travis.
Peavy said she can admit that Brady is the GOAT. Okay, Ms. Peavy. I appreciate you.
Mr. Hood, Brady would actually be a pretty good scrum half for a rugby team. So, yeah, really good scrum half.
Oh, my God. Are you talking about Quidditch now?
No, rugby.
Oh, it's the same thing to me. Quidditch, rugby, lacrosse, all that's the same. They're all the same shit.
Definitely not a prop.
It's all the same.
Not a prop,
all right.
Like I said, I think that, don't get me wrong, Brady, to me, football, he's my football GOAT. And, I mean, don't nobody ask me that anymore.
Right.
I know Mahomes going to win the Super Bowl next year, and they'll have a big GOAT discussion. I'm like, dude, y'all leave that man alone and let them boys keep playing and see what else they can come up with. That's my thing.
Kerry, basketball players play a lot more games than a football player would, but I can't speak to it because I never played any of them on a professional level, but I feel like a lot of people will tell you that one game in football takes a lot more out of you than that one game in basketball.
Absolutely. And I agree with that. And I'll tell you this too, Kerry Lynn, I don't know why in the hell they play 82 damn games anyway?
I agree.
I mean, what the hell is that all about? Other than they just greedy and trying to get money from them people. I mean, who in the hell needs to play 82 games to see who the best team is, or not even see who the best team is, just to do the damn seeding for the tournament? They play 82 damn games for that. I mean, you gotta be kidding me.
Oh, geez. Oh, man. We're not going to get into that debate. We're not going to go there because Coach already sent me some hate already about LeBron early. So we're going to say that to next week because we're going to need some stuff to fill the time next week.
Yep.
So without any further ado, Coach, take us on home.
Wait, I got an announcement.
Travis has an announcement.
Sorry.
And we all been waiting for this all day. Come on, Travis.
Yes.
So I have a very important announcement, at least it's important to me. So and I'm extremely excited to announce that the Straight from the Hip fan and crew here, we're getting a new fan. We're getting a new member of the Straight from the Hip crew. So how about that? We're getting a new member.
So who's the new member, Travis?
My wife and I are expecting.
Yeah, I'm trying to help your ass tell everybody.
I just thought that was a fun little
because nobody knew what the hell you were talking about.
Come on. So we found out, and we're today's actually our wedding anniversary. So we announced it today that we are expecting. Our first child is due around Labor Day in September. So yeah.
Hold on, Travis. I'm praying. I'm praying to God that it don't look like you.
Come on. It could have a beard.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Travis,
congratulations.
Thank you.
I know we give you a hard time.
You and your wife.
Absolutely.
I mean, your wife is a saint. We already know that. God's going to have a special place for her in heaven, having to deal with your ass every day. So congratulations to you all. Folks, it is time for us to get out of here.
Hey, Travis, is the baby's first name going to be Burl?
No, it's not going to be Burl.
Okay. Oh, okay. Just checking. Just wanted to know. Is it Collinsworth? What about Collinsworth?
No Collinsworth. No Chad.
Carrie Lynn said first name is Mahomes.
No Mahomes.
Folks, we got to get out of here.
Right.
We appreciate everybody for being on the show. Carrie Lynn, Megan Butler, congratulations, Miss Butler, Miss Hood, Mr. Butler, Denise Ham, the Hood family, my brother Kevin Mitchell. We want to thank everybody. This was a great show tonight, big show tonight. Hopefully we'll get everybody back next week. Guys, we love you guys. We appreciate everything that you do. And we'll be back next week. As always, to my mama, who I'm going to try to go see this weekend. Good night, Miss Francis. I love you.
Straight from the hip.
See you guys next week. Peace.
All right, man. We'll see y'all. Thanks, guys.
Yep. See ya.